Why the majority of people pass away before the age of 85. There are 6 tried and true methods to prevent premature death after the age of 60. Elderly wisdom. Why is it that so many people pass away before the age of 85? Especially when they appear to be doing everything right. It is a question that is being asked by an increasing number of us as the years pass. Sadly, the majority of elderly people do not pass away as a result of unexpected or dramatic occurrences. Subtle routines, hazards that are not taken into account, and emotional patterns that quietly drain vitality over time are the factors that cause them to gradually disappear. We are going to unearth 6 significant reasons why so many individuals never make it past the age of 85 in this video. And more importantly, we are going to discuss what sensible older adults do differently in order to stop themselves from reaching that fate. Every revelation is founded on both personal experience and study that is supported by scientific evidence. Ranging from the decisions you make on a daily basis that have an effect on your heart to the unexpected dangers that have an effect on your thinking. It is therefore not too late to do so, regardless of whether you are in your 60s, 70s, or even early 80s. These are not merely suggestions, rather, they are insignificant choices that, when made over time, contribute to a longer and more robust life. Additionally, make sure you stay with us until the very end of the movie because you will learn how the implementation of even a single one of these adjustments could be the reason you reach the age of 90 while still feeling like yourself. It's time to get started. The gradual decrease that is brought on by inactivity comes in first. One of the reasons that people don't live past the age of 85 is a gradual but constant reduction in movement, which is one of the most underappreciated factors. Innocently enough, it begins with a day spent lounging on the couch here and a day of skipping a walk there. The lack of everyday motion, on the other hand, may cause your muscles to become weaker, your balance to deteriorate, and your breath to become shorter over time. The joints in the body allow it to easily adjust to periods of inactivity. Tension increases, circulation decreases, and bone density decreases. As time goes on, you start to lose movement, which is the one thing that maintains longevity. Movement is not limited to mere physical activity or the burning of calories. This involves ensuring that your body is awake, that your blood is flowing, and that your neural system is active. If you do not have it, your chance of falling, being hospitalized, and possibly experiencing a precipitous decline is significantly increased, particularly after the age of 70. Consider Robert, a Colorado resident who is 74 years old. Following his retirement, he stopped going for his daily walks and instead preferred to spend more time inside watching television. In less than 2 years, he needed assistance in ascending the stairs. At the age of 76, he experienced his first fall. Something as easy as standing up every hour, going on brief walks every day, and making a commitment to mild stretching first thing in the morning was what had the effect of turning things around. Keeping up with that routine not only helped him stay active, but it also restored his sense of autonomy. It is not necessary to push yourself like a young athlete in order to get longevity. Getting your body to acknowledge that you are still a part of your life requires you to make little movements on a daily basis. Even 10 minutes of deliberate walking, some light weight training, working with resistance bands, or standing while making a phone call can make a greater difference than you might imagine. And the reason for this is that once mobility stops, everything else begins to follow in its wake. However, even if you only move a tiny bit, you are communicating to life that you are still totally present in it. Secondly, the harm that is not visible that is caused by insufficient sleep. Poor sleep not only leaves you feeling sleepy the following day, but it also gradually undermines every system that is responsible for keeping you alive. Memory loss, immune system weakening, high blood pressure, and even premature mortality are all causes that are often missed in older persons. One of the most disregarded causes is sleep disruption. The quality of your sleep is more important than the length of time you spend sleeping. Having nights that are shallow and restless, particularly when they are accumulated over a period of months or years, can hasten the decrease of cognitive abilities and raise inflammation throughout the body. In spite of the fact that you may believe that waking up 3 or 4 times during the night is a natural part of becoming older, your brain does not see it that way. Your brain is deprived of the opportunity to reset, repair, and safeguard your long-term health with each interruption that it experiences. Joan, 76 years old and from Oregon, was unaware that her erratic sleeping patterns were the cause of her feelings of exhaustion, anxiety, and rising blood sugar. Not until her physician suggested that she undergo a sleep study did she learn that she was suffering from mild sleep apnea, which was quietly doing havoc on her health. The quality of her sleep significantly improved once she started using a moderate sleep aid and incorporated a few critical behaviors, such as avoiding screens for 1 hour before going to bed, stretching in the evening, and maintaining a cool and dark climate in her bedroom. Within a few weeks, she regained her vitality and cleared her mind. It is essential to have a clear understanding that sleep is not a passive activity. In order to maintain its life, it is one of the most active activities that your body does. In addition, if you are experiencing pain, snoring, overnight excursions to the bathroom, or racing thoughts that prevent you from sleeping, you should not dismiss these issues as the result of aging alone. It is a cautionary light, and it is something that may be dealt with caution. It is not enough to simply be awake in order to live a long life. To ensure that you are able to continue showing up for the day that lies ahead, it is important to protect the hours that your body requires to heal. I would appreciate it if you could use the second comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. The third risk is the concealed danger that comes with persistent loneliness. There is more to loneliness than simply being by oneself, at the same time as other people are close by. It is about feeling isolated. In addition, as you get older, this dull discomfort has the potential to become one of the most harmful factors that are working against your health. There is a correlation between extended social isolation and an increased risk of death at an earlier age. According to studies, in the same way that smoking or being overweight can increase inflammatory levels, it can also interrupt sleep, hasten the deterioration of cognitive abilities, and weaken the immune system. Nevertheless, the most difficult aspect is being alone. It frequently occurs without a particularly spectacular occasion. Your spouse may have passed away many years ago. Perhaps some of your friends have relocated. It's also possible that the invitations simply stopped coming. Edward, who is 81 years old and is from Michigan, was a member of his community's veterans group in the past. On the other hand, following surgery, he retreated. Energy and motivation are both diminished. In the course of several weeks, he eventually reached the point where he was only able to communicate with the clerk at the grocery store. His physician observed some symptoms of mild sadness and recommended that he join a community walking program for senior citizens. Although Edward was hesitant, he managed to go. A single stroll eventually led to another. He is now back to being surrounded by talk and laughing on a bi-weekly basis, which is now twice a week. It's not always the case that connection means crowds. Making a phone call to your neighbor, going to a monthly group meeting, or inviting someone over for coffee are all examples of simple ways to do this. There are ways in which your body reacts to such exchanges that you are unable to perceive. There is a decrease in blood pressure, a more stable emotional state, and an increased sense of purpose. And even when it seems like the easiest thing to do to withdraw, keep in mind that the people who live the longest are almost never the ones who choose to separate themselves. These are the individuals who maintain a profound connection, do so continuously, and frequently do so poorly, but with a heart at all times. Lastly, the gradual deterioration that results from diets that are deficient in nutrients. Although we may experience a decrease in appetite as we age, our nutritional requirements remain the same. The fact of the matter is that their significance increases with each passing year. Unbeknownst to them, however, a significant number of elderly people consume diets that are deficient in the very nutrients that their bodies require the most. When it comes to calories, quality is more important than quantity. It's possible that a bowl of cereal will satisfy your hunger, but it might not provide your brain with the omega-3 fatty acids, your bones with the calcium, or your blood with the iron that it's been quietly craving. One last thing to keep in mind is that vitamin inadequacies almost never scream but rather mumble. It seems as though you are experiencing a tiny increase in fatigue, a slight decline in your balance, or a slight fuzziness in your memory. Barbara, who was 79 years old and from New Jersey, believed that her lack of energy was simply a natural aspect of becoming older. However, she found out that she had a deficiency in vitamin D and B12 after having her blood tested. She began to regain her strength after making a few adjustments, making better eating choices, taking a straightforward supplement, and spending more time in the sun. The fact that processed foods are simpler to prepare is a challenge. They are more expedient, softer, and in certain cases more affordable. But in the long run, they end up sacrificing the short-term convenience for the long-term damage. In addition to providing you with nourishment, whole foods such as leafy greens, berries, legumes, fatty fish, nuts, and fermented foods are also beneficial. They are effective in reducing inflammation, safeguarding your heart, and maintaining mental acuity. When it comes to self-preservation, even relatively minor adjustments, such as substituting white bread for whole grain or include spinach in your eggs, can be extremely effective. One of the few things that you do on a daily basis that has a direct influence on your future is the food that you consume. And when you eat for vitality, your body expresses gratitude not just with energy but also with time thanks to your efforts. I would appreciate it if you could use the fourth comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. One last thing to consider is the dangers of taking too much medication. However, the risks that come along with them also rise as we get older. Prescriptions tend to multiply as we get older. What begins as 1 or 2 medicines can unexpectedly balloon into a list of 10 or more. And this can happen with little to no coordination between the various medical professionals. Polypharmacy is not only one of the leading hidden causes of falls, confusion, hospitalizations, and early decline in older individuals, but it is also one of the major causes of these things. While each prescription might be useful on its own, when taken together, they might interact in ways that put a strain on the kidneys, cause the brain to become foggy, or cause the blood pressure to drop dangerously. Additionally, some medications are provided for symptoms that are actually side effects of other prescriptions. For example, a sleeping pill may be taken for the restlessness that is produced by a diuretic. A painkiller may be supplied for the aches that are generated by the usage of statins. And all of a sudden, you are treating treatments. His daughter noted that George, who was 82 years old and from Florida, was taking 12 different drugs. His memory had changed, and he had grown unstable. After conducting a comprehensive medication assessment with a new primary care physician and a pharmacist, they eliminated several medications that were not necessary with great thoroughness. In a matter of weeks, he regained his clarity, and his energy levels also restored. What is it that seasoned individuals are aware of? The fact that a drug was required in the past does not necessarily guarantee that it will continue to be required in the future. In the same way that our bodies evolve, so should our prescriptions. Inquire with your primary care physician or a clinical pharmacist about a comprehensive medication review once a year. Bring each and every drug, supplement, and bottle that may be purchased without a prescription. Give them the opportunity to see everything. Avoiding any drugs is not the only way to live a long life. The key is to make use of it with caution, discernment, and a consistent process of reevaluation. Simply because each medication has a purpose, or at least it ought to, and when that purpose is no longer contributing to the well-being of your body, it is time to question whether or not it still belongs. The sixth risk is the possibility of losing one's sense of purpose. As soon as a person quits waking up with a feeling of meaning, the body starts to follow suit along with them. In some cases, it is not dramatic, a lack of enthusiasm to begin the day, a diminished willingness to plan ahead, or a diminished curiosity about what lies ahead are all examples of subtle signs of this phenomenon. There is, however, something more profound beneath it. There is a correlation between whether or not life feels like it still matters and the responses of the neurological system, immune system, and even the heart. In addition, it is not about having a significant objective, something as basic as tending to a garden, providing guidance to a youngster, volunteering once a week, or calling a friend who is in need of your assistance might serve as a purpose. It is about having a cause to keep going, something that provides you with a role, a rhythm, and a connection to the world around you. She is 78 years old and hails from North Carolina. In the months that followed the death of her spouse, she experienced a period of silence and detachment. According to her, "I was not unwell. I simply did not have the impression that anything was mine anymore." She did, however, agree to assist in the instruction of a reading class at the neighborhood library one day. At the end of the first 2 months, she had not only found students but also friends. Her vitality returned to her. She has regained her appetite. In addition, she mentioned that for the first time in a year, "I experienced a sense of living once more." In spite of the fact that it is simple to reject these things as being emotional or mushy, the scientific community disagrees. Studies conducted at major research institutes have demonstrated that older persons who have a strong sense of purpose live longer, experience fewer instances of chronic disease, and recover from health setbacks more quickly. There is no requirement that purpose be loud. Without a doubt, it must be yours. And as soon as you re-establish a connection with it, regardless of your age, your entire system starts to become more stable. And this is due to the fact that those who live above the age of 85 are not usually the healthiest, wealthiest, or luckiest individuals. Most of the time, these are the ones who continue to feel that they are needed, who continue to be intrigued, and who continue to feel connected to something that is more significant than themselves. I would appreciate it if you could use the 6th comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. Lastly, some thoughts. So, what have you found to be the most noteworthy today? In which of these 6 realizations did you find yourself pausing, pondering, or perhaps nodding your head and thinking, "That one is for me"? To tell you the truth, being older does not necessarily entail going extinct. The term may not necessarily imply deterioration, frailty, or even isolation. It is possible for it to mean something completely different, such as power, clarity, connection, or peace. Additionally, the decisions that you make right now, whether it be going for a brief walk, evaluating your meds, or simply reaching out to someone you care about, can have repercussions that extend well into the years that lie ahead. At this point in your life, you are not completely helpless. In point of fact, it's possible that you have more power than you've ever been aware of. Having the ability to change course, the ability to rekindle one's purpose, capacity to keep going and to keep going vigorously. It would be wonderful if you could get in touch with us. Please leave a comment below and tell us about one item you discovered today and how you intend to put it to use in your life right now. We place a high value on your opinions, so please do not be reluctant to share them with us. Our inspiration and encouragement are greatly increased as a result of reading your remarks. I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it to be informative and enjoyable. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we hope to see you in the future video.